Hi.
Wow, live on YouTube.
Yes, it's live on YouTube.
Okay.
Thank you. Chuka, where's that?
Near Kobe,
Okay.
Kitaku. I forgot the name. Some lake in the mountains.
Nice. Jun-san, are we good to start? Can we start? It's about time, I think.
We can start.
Okay. Alrighty. All right, so everybody, thank you for coming today. I'm going to be your moderator for today. My name is Jindo, and welcome to Tranqui Talk. So today, we're going to have two special guests, Yu Sakai-san and Noda Chihiro-san as our guests, and the topic is interpreter, soccer interpreter. So I don't know if many of you know about interpreters, and I don't know if any of you are interested in becoming an interpreter, but I am pretty sure that people here are interested in the field of sports, global career. So any of that would find interesting for those who are interested in those keywords. So we would like to briefly start off with Ryukun's introduction. I know he's very nervous for today, but as you know, the community's name, Tranqui, it means bochi bochi ikimashou. If you're panicking, you can speak Japanese, Spanish, French, whatever you want. Chill out, you know, relax.
Yep.
So, okay, here you go. You're ready to go, man.
Okay, so can I share my PowerPoint?
Yes, you may.
Yes, this is my, okay. Whew. So thank you, Jindo. Okay, let me introduce myself. So I'm Ryo, I'm from Japan. And then as you all know, I'm really nervous because it's my first time to make a presentation in front of a lot of people and also online. So before starting presentation, I'd like to thank you for giving me the chance to speak here today. And also I'm here to talk about my dream to be an interpreter. So, and then in my presentation, yeah, I'm gonna give you some picture of why I want to be an interpreter and what I'm doing for this. Okay, let's get into it. Sorry, mate. Okay, this one. So my talk is divided into three parts. So firstly, I will introduce myself, right? And secondly, I will talk about the background of my dream. And then lastly, I will talk about my question to achieve my goal to be an interpreter. Okay, let's get into it. So let me introduce myself. So briefly, and then I'm Ryo. I'm from Japan. As I said already, sorry. So I was at a University of Tsukuba, and I moved on to graduate school. Then I studied 2019 I was at Australia to study sports and science in the Victoria University. So as I said, my major is sports and science, and also I did research with Melbourne Victory FC, which is a club that Keisuke Honda used to play. So, and also I played in a semi-professional level in Australia. Yeah, that was really hard. Then, as I said, my dream is soccer interpreter, right? So in order to be an interpreter, I've been studying English and little Spanish right now. Hola. So like, oh man, okay. So why interpreter? So let's get into this slide of why interpreter. So I reckon there are lots of people might think about the questions, just have the same question. So why interpreter? Why do I want interpreter, right? So I'm gonna talk about my background of my dreams to be an interpreter. Okay, let's get into it. So let me talk about my dream in the past. So my dream was to be a professional soccer player in Japan, actually. So and then originally I started playing soccer in junior high school, but I was really rubbish soccer player because like most unlike most others, I started playing soccer late, much later, right? So because that's why there was a huge gap between me and other players, and to be honest with you, I was really struggling to play football in the period of time in junior high school. But I tried to get through this problem. I tried to get through this tough situation, and I keep playing football, and I went on the high school and then also university to keep on playing football. So so let me talk about my university. So I was at a University of Tsukuba. So there's three reasons why I decided to get into this university. So firstly, I this university is one of the best universities in Japan in terms of soccer, right? And also, this university has produced many professional players. So here's Noda-san here, and then Noda-san's working with Jubilo Iwata, and then my teammate, who is Nakano Seiya, he is my teammate. So he's really good players. Then, and he used to play in Tsukuba University. So the third one is the biggest reason that I decided to get into university, right? So anyone can join this university's club, regardless of the level, right? As I said, I was a rubbish soccer player, but the ordinary universities has a test, right? Has a tryout, to get into the club. But the Tsukuba universities doesn't have the test, so that's why rugby soccer player like me, can get into the University of Tsukuba, and I try to take a next level, right? So that's why I decided to get into this Tsukuba University, University of Tsukuba, right? Then, but when I was at a fourth year student, I couldn't get any offer from professional soccer league, especially for J League. Then I decided to try out a lot of team of J League or other teams to keep playing soccer. But when I graduate the universities, I couldn't sign any team. So that's why I moved on to graduate school and to keep on playing soccer. Then I continued to search team to play for. I tried to really hard, but obviously my dream didn't come true, right? But it was really obvious that I didn't have enough skill to play football as a professional player. But the fact that my dream didn't come true was really heartbreaking for me, and then I was really depressed after stopping to play soccer, and then I was in the rock bottom of my life. Then it's been 6 months. That was really tough time for me. So one day, I've got a miraculous encounter. So one day, my friends who are playing football, asked me to join the training match. So, we have not enough players. So, do you want to come to my team? And then I didn't feel like to play football because of that, the goal, that depression. But I went on the training match. But at the time, I met a person who was working at the JD team as an interpreter, right? Which means he was a former soccer interpreter. So, and then after the match, I just out of my curiosity, I tried to ask him about the soccer interpreters, so like a JD team. Then he was really kind to me, and he told me he shared the experience of his experience that he ever had through the job of interpreters. And then he told me what a great job the interpreter is. Then at the time, something something just came down to me like a spark, like a next my dream is to be an interpreter, right? Because originally I'd been interested in languages because by the influence of Jindo Morishita, who is the Tranqui's member, and then he always gave me an opportunity to communicate with foreign people. But even though he knew that I couldn't speak English, I was really embarrassed. But because of this, I've been interested in languages. And also, I still have a desire to be involved in JLEAGUE team. I couldn't, obviously I couldn't be a professional soccer player in JLEAGUE team, but still I really want to be involved in JLEAGUE team in any way. So that's why, in my mind, soccer and language are connected together. Then interpreter come in. So that's why I've decided to be an interpreter right now. Then in order to be an interpreter, I thought I needed to improve my language skill, and also I needed to improve my knowledge about soccer. So I've decided to go to Australia to study abroad and to learn a language and also learn a knowledge about football in English. Then I did three things in Australia. So firstly, I was playing soccer in a high level to learn a football language in a practical situation. And also I went into university to study the soccer, right? And then thirdly, I was working at a professional club, as I said, Melbourne Victory FC. So those kind of things are really helpful for me to learn the football and English, right? And then now I just already came back from Australia to Japan, and I just tried to find a way to get into JLEAGUE team as an interpreter. So this is the last part of my presentation. So I'd like to get the answer and get any clue to this question, which is how to grab a chance in any situation to achieve my goal. Why I'm saying this? Recently I've been contacting some interpreters, and try to get any clue to get into the JLEAGUE team. And then they all say to me like, oh, you need to improve, you need have enough knowledge and enough skill of languages. And also above that, they all said to me like, it's all about luck and timing, right? I understand, the luck and timing, the both of these elements are important, but actually, I don't want to be waiting for luck and timing to come to me, right? I couldn't wait for it. So then today, I'd like to get the answer and any clue to, how do I say, I want the Noda-san's here, right? Since we have a Noda-san and who has my role model, interpreter, right? Then also he has been JLEAGUE team. So that's why today I'd like to get the answer and any clue from him. So, okay, that's it all. That's all. How do I say, yeah, my presentation was already done. Then today, I'm really looking forward to listening and communicating with you all, and especially for Noda-san to get any hint or any clue to my questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Well done, Yukun.
Yep.
All right. I think it's not only me, but who enjoyed his Aussie accent. We all love your Aussie accent. Good job. So today we have Yukun as a guest. He wants to become a football interpreter, a soccer interpreter. He hasn't been there yet, but he's passionate about. And we have Noda-san here, Chihiro-san here, who's already been there, who's already a professional soccer interpreter. So we have two contrasts, a structure of who wants and who is already. So now I'm going to pass on the baton to Chihiro-san, if you could give us a nice presentation. All right,
Okay.
you're ready to go.
Hold on. Let me share my screen. Can you see that, everyone?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. Okay, let's start my presentation. Okay, Tranqui talk and the interpreter, global sport and career. Okay. Today topics. So at first, introduction myself, and then second, what is an interpreter? Then maybe you guys don't know about my job. Actually, my old job, but still you guys don't know that. Also, third, how to become an interpreter. It's gonna be good answer for Ryukun, probably. Then last session, like a Q&A time. Okay, let's keep going. Then at first, let me introduce myself. Huichihiro Noda. And this big smile guy, right? And this is my history. Actually, so I born in Kumamoto in Japan, so 1988, same as Hiroki Yamada, today's speaker listener. Then when I was 7 years old, I started playing football, and then I'm still right now. So I like to play football all the time. Then so someone knows also high school probably. It's maybe some school bus student, and then maybe you guys know the Kurumaya, also Taniguchi. Also, yeah, they're from my high school. Yeah. Then although high school is very good team, and then most of the time they're champion in the Kumamoto, but I couldn't play for the top team, and then I didn't get the chance to play for any competition at the time. But I still wanted to be a professional player. That's why I decided to go to the Teikyo University. At that time, the Teikyo University in their second division on the country league. That's why I decided to go there. But also at that time, I couldn't play for the top team. Then I couldn't play for the league game, just the I-League, Independence League only. Then when end of second year, so I decided to stop playing football. Then I turned to the coach for the kids. Then for 2 years, around 2 years. Then at the time, I could touch their, future. Also, my kids play football with big smile. And actually, that from the high school, I had a really a hard time because I couldn't play for the game. Around the 5, 6 years, I couldn't play for the game. Then, at the time I forgot the football is fun and then passion, and then I should enjoy the playing football. Then the kids, remind me that football is beautiful, football is very fun. Then at the time, I had a two option, to become the businessman, like in Japanese salaryman, or to chase my dream. Then, I talked with my parents, and then my parents gave me the chance for 2 years. They gave me the 2 years. Then if you couldn't be the professional player, you have to stop. Then I took that chance. Then after graduate university, I've been to Argentina, not Argentina, sorry, in English, Argentina. Anyway, then I played the football there as amateur, but I couldn't any sign there. Then after there also, I went to Australia. I could play there as a semi-professional. Then, even I couldn't play for like 6 years in Japan when I was a high school and a university student, but I could be the semi-professional player. Then the first time I got any money from the playing soccer, but it was my real pleasure. But then after that, actually, I went to the Singapore and the Malta, to try out, but you know, I couldn't make it. Then that's why at the time, the first time of retirement, and yeah, I stopped there. I stopped playing football. Then I came back to Japan, and then in Japan, I worked for the Sompo Japan as a salaryman. But at the time, still, I kept playing football as amateur. Then, you know, I tried to be harder after my work. Then I had a luck because, you know, when I was playing there another country, like for 2 years, I tried to get there any connection with the player who play in the other country. Just, you know, just Google their name on the Facebook, then send a message, and then, you know, some conversation. Some people help me. Then still I had that connection at the time. That's why I got offer. No, I saw the, you know, the post on the Facebook. There's the one team in Southeastern Asia has an interest in the Japanese player. If you have a interesting, so please tell me. That's kind of things. Then I sent a message. Then I got offer from the Philippines as a professional player. So actually, you know, that one is also like a luck and timing. I had a luck and timing. Then so I could play in Philippines for 2 years as a professional. But yeah, then I couldn't get any more offer from the Philippines. When I went to the Cambodia, but also I couldn't make contract. That's why I decided to retire again the second time. Then I decided to go to Canada to study English because I got offer from the athlete scholarship student from the Canada university. But actually, you know, just 1 month before I gonna leaving. So I had a professional career. That's why my university tried to register my name on the league. But the league said no. This guy has a professional player career. He can't play for the amateur league in university league. Then, you know, everything, you know, stopped my plan. But at the time I couldn't. Still, I don't have a lot of confidence to speak English. But at the time, really, I couldn't speak well. But I wanted to speak English. That's why I decided to go to there, then Canada. Then also I had a luck. Then some good, you know, the meeting with some people there. Then I could stay there for 2.5 years. Then January last year, I came back to Japan. Then, so I'm turned to be the interpreter for Tokushima Board this last year. Then this year, so for Jubilo Iwata. Yes. Then this is my introduction. Quickly. Yep. Okay. Then next, what is the interpreter? Maybe you guys imagine like this, right? After the game, you know, they help my player interview. So on the training, I help the player like that. Also sometimes like this. So actually this guy, the Portuguese, Brazilian guy, that he speak Portuguese or Japanese, and I translate to the English, right? Or like that.
チームがしてしまうのかなというところもありますよね。前半も球だ
Or
ますんで、
like
そこ
this
から自由にこう
on
起点
their
を作ら
league
れ
game.
てクロスも何度も上げられるっていうのもありますんで。
But that things really, you know, the small rate of their interpreter job. So we do lots of other kind of work for player and team. Example, so this kind of things. The interpretation, you know, the like a training, their meeting, the before the game, before the training, also medical check. Every day, you know, if some player has a problem or has an injury, so have a medical check by the medical staff. So at that time, I should be there, right? To help them. Then translation, there's some training plan, because if Japanese coach, so translation from Japanese to English. Also the schedule and some document. Yeah, like that. There's a visa. So I didn't do this kind of things for in the Tokushima Baltis, but this year for Jubilee Iwata, so I helped the visa things too. Filling out the document, the corrected document from the club, yeah. Anyway, also sometimes going to the immigration together. Okay. Also life, that sometimes they don't know if they come to the Japan first time, they don't know where is the supermarket. Then especially like a Japanese language is very difficult to read, right? Not English a lot in the supermarket or somewhere else. That's why I teach them that here is the supermarket or park, also beach and beach and beach and beach. They love spending time in the beach. That's why, especially last year, my player, Jordi Bice, asked me all the time, where's a good beach to spend good time? Where's the beach? Where's the beach? I didn't know about the Tokushima as well. That's why it's the most hardest job for me last year, actually, to find a good beach for him. Then also about the family, so some player has a family, and then so some player has a kids. Then if they want to go to school, so I need to support them to going to school things or hospital. And last year, so my player, two players, wife are pregnant. That's why I went to hospital with them. I'm still single, but now I'm ready, to have baby anytime. I have that kind of knowledge. Then also driving. If the player doesn't have a driver license in Japan, actually, so most of club give the car to the player for free. But if they don't have a license, they can't drive it. Then that's why if they don't have a driver license, so I have to drive home to clubhouse every day. Also sometimes to airport too. Yeah, that's why. So interpreter has a lot of works of the another things from their interpretation. Yeah. And also it's interesting things. Your player are native or non-native. Actually, last year and this year, I had a non-native English speaker player. Dutch guy, Uzbekistan, and then Thai guy. That's why, we talk about the second language, That's why sometimes maybe they don't understand my English word because of lack of their knowledge each other. Also, sometimes I couldn't understand their English as well. I used to be watching their movie, but it's native English things. But sometimes it's very hard to help for the non-native speaker. But yeah, then unfortunately, I didn't have the work with a native speaker. But one day, yeah, if I have a time, if I have a chance to work with a native speaker, so maybe it's gonna be a good experience for me. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's also maybe if you gonna be the interpreter, so at the time you're gonna be confused because last year my Zabi is from Uzbekistan. Last year I had a Zabi. The name is Zabi, and he couldn't speak English well at first time. But that's why then it was very difficult to make a communication each other. Even that I'm English interpreter, but I couldn't help him a lot. That's why we study together sometimes. Then I study little bit Uzbek language and then helped him. It's also we need it if you want to be the interpreter. Also day off. Actually, it's very difficult today here is a Yamada-san, Hiroki. Then player, if the team schedule may probably most of the time like after the game day, we have a day off for player. But for interpreter, it depends on my player. If my player doesn't have any problem, they're gonna have the day off. But if my player has a little bit injury or like rehabilitation, I have to go to the clubhouse. Then have to help him. The last year in Tokushima, I had 3 players at the same time. Then I didn't have a day off for 3 months. Yeah, because some player has a small injury, and then some player has an injury like that. That's why if you have just one player, maybe you're gonna have the lot of day off. But it depends on how many player you have. Then how many days off you're gonna get. It depends on the player. Okay, then I think that it's the biggest topic for you, Ryukun, how to become the interpreter. There's just one word, connection. Connection is the most important, actually. Because, I didn't expect to get this kind of job. Before coming back from Canada, I didn't search this kind of job. Suddenly, like my friend talked to me, oh, did you get any job? Then I said no. Oh, I gonna introduce this guy. Then I got offer from Tokushima for this. Maybe like a December 26th, I got offer. Then Tokushima told me please decide in 3-4 days. Then, then I made a decision to take this job. Then two weeks later, I was in the Tokushima, and I started to work this kind of job. That's why connection also luck and timing. Actually, luck and timing also very important. But the connection is the most important things to become the interpreter. But maybe the spots of the interpreter are very few. Not a lot the spot. Then this 18 club in J1, 22 club in J2, and 18 club J3. But some J3 team don't have an international player. Yeah, that's why maybe probably around 100 interpreter or not, for one season. Also, Portuguese interpreter are around 50% because a lot of Brazilian play in J League. That's why. Also, to survive after you become the interpreter, then how you're gonna survive an interpreter. The key point is several languages or positions. Because a lot of Brazilian here, that's why if you speak Portuguese or Spanish, or English, also like Portuguese, so maybe you're gonna be very variable interpreter. If the club has only you, then you can help the Brazilian player or another international player who speak English. That's why at least 2 languages are required, I think. I can speak only English. That's why it's very tough. Also I need a luck. But if you wanna keep being the interpreter, you should learn another language too. Okay. Or turning to the other position. Some people turn to the Kyokabu is a management position. Not for the top team management position, but they can speak the Portuguese and then also English sometimes, and then they can talk with the agent, from other country directly. That is also the good positive things, advantage for you, like a coach management, also some front staff as well. Then also the most important thing, talk about your dream loudly. right now, so you're doing very well because you already contact me, and then I want to be an interpreter. I want to be interpreter. Then you talk about your dream around you. It's very important. Then if of course if I have some information, I gonna tell you because you told me already your dream. That's why telling your dream around you is most important things also. That's it. ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Chihiro-san.
I don't know how to stop the Hold
So if
on.
you,
okay. Hey,
all right. Thank you very much.
all right.
Thank you very much. So we have, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes left. I would love to open up the room for questions, but before that, let me, or you can ask Chihiro-san a questions, you can, first of all, do you have any questions, direct questions to Chihiro-san regarding his presentation, anything?
So far, it's okay.
So far, it's okay. All right, one question for me.
Okay.
So Chihiro-san, you told Ryukun, or people here, it's important to talk about your dream loudly, people around you. Do you, what is your dream from now on?
Oh, now on. Actually, so I wanna learn the business side things. Then one day, if I have a chance, I wanna come back to J League as a front staff, like a more management side.
Mm.
You
So
know,
what-
because I live in the Argentina.
Mm.
And Argentina has a big the huge country for the football. Then I wanna raise up the presence of the football in Japan. Like Argentina one day. Then like a top team, of course the top team is the main job for the any J League club. Top team like a player and the interpreter and the head coach, but also the front staff are very important, to increase the position of the football in Japan.
Mm.
That's why.
Mm. Thank you very much. So you're looking for a job in the business field, not only sports business, but business outside sports, right?
Yeah. Also, I would like to work in the Southeastern Asia.
Oh, Eastern Asia.
Yeah. Then because they're a developing country, and then then still there is a chance to get a good good connection to the some important people. Then if I work there and I'm gonna get the good connection, and then one day also like I wanna, because I played the Philippines for 2 years. Then I love there. Then I know they have a lot of potential, also the football side as well. That's why I want to work there also in the in the private time. Of course I gonna play football. Then I want to help them football side too in other countries there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I think what you two have in common is that you had some sort of frustration, setback, discouragement in Japanese, zasetsu type of stuff, when you two were playing football in your young days.
Yeah.
So what was the motivation, or how did you overcome all these negative events? Do you want to start, Yukun?
Okay. But actually, I couldn't be a professional soccer player at the time. I was really depressed. So, and then before that, I was, as I said, I was a rugby soccer player. And then, but I tried to really hard. I really hard in junior high school. And at high school, I tried to practice really hard, and then I could take my level to the next, right? So then finally, in junior high school, I couldn't join the team, join the last game. But in high school, I could join the last game, right, as a starting member. So this is what I experienced in my life. But when I have to stop being, have to stop my dream, have to stop being a professional soccer player, I couldn't cope with that actually. So I was really depressed, and I couldn't have any any clue to get through this problem. But now I've been my dream is to be an interpreter, and then now I've been really good. In my state is really good to achieve. How does it okay. So anyway, yeah, I couldn't say that, but the negative power is really motivation. I think that I really think about that. I'm not sure. I have no answer actually. So
You have no specific answer, but
Yeah.
somehow you transfer the negative energy to the positive side.
yeah,
Okay, interesting. How about you, Chihiro-san?
Okay, how to overcome my zasetsu?
Yes.
Actually, right now, now on, I threw back my life. Maybe I had a lot of zasetsu at the time because I couldn't play for a long time in high school student, but in student. But at the time, I didn't think this is a zasetsu because it's normal for me because around me a lot of good player. That's why just it's not zasetsu. Just I didn't have enough knowledge, enough skill. That I just push myself. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I don't think it's a good answer. Like I don't know it's gonna be answer, but maybe I was a little bit stupid. That's why I didn't feel this was it. Yeah, that's why I keep going playing football. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just I love football. That's it. That's
Yeah.
why. Yeah.
I think that's a really interesting answer. You never, zasetsu, like giving up a dream is never going to be given up unless you think it's given up, So I think keep going, like, pursuing your dream until you succeed.
Yeah.
Meaning there's no giving up, essentially. So that's an interesting perspective. Okay. Now let me throw you guys some questions that I received on Google Form. Let me ask you like 3 or 4 questions, and then I'm just going to open up this room for everybody else, for the participants, for the questions. First of all, I know there's some people who's still a student who's studying, and I'm going to ask you both of these. 学生時代にしていたこと、キャリアに関係あることや直接関係ないこと、良かったこと。Alright, what were you doing in your student life? It could be related to sport, related to career, anything. What were you doing? What are you doing right now?
Right now?
Or, in student life, during student life.
Yeah, when I was the university student, I played soccer only, actually. But this is really normal thing because I was aimed to be a professional soccer player. But now, when I remind that situation, that when I think about my life of university, I think I'm gonna advise myself do something except for soccer, right? So because it's okay to aim to be a professional soccer player, but actually, I was really depressed when I give up being a professional soccer player. Then at the time, I feel like, oh, I don't have anything. I don't have any good point except for soccer, right? So this is really bad thing. So yeah, that's what I want to say today. So this, how do I say, like, yeah, do something except for what you want. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would have you done besides sports?
Now,
Yeah, looking back from now, what have you done?
for example, like doing the Arbeit thing, or doing the other volunteer, or studying other culture, or studying especially for I want to say go abroad, right?
Okay.
Except for playing football in Japan. So
Okay, so you need to experience more various stuff and then broaden your view.
Yep.
Okay. How about you, Chihiro-san? What have you done? What did you do during student life?
My opinion is really similar to Ryukun. Actually, the people are here. Maybe everyone love some sports, and then everyone play the specific sports. Then you guys play these sports for a long time. It means you belong to the specific group, community, the most of your life. Then I came to Tokyo for the university. Then until then, I was with only the friends who play football all the time, like teammates. I was all the time. But in Tokyo, a lot of people here, very unique friends around me. That also I put on me on the another community. Like I joined to the volunteer community out of the university. Then there is a lot of students from other university too, like some Waseda, also Keio. They've come from the other university also. Yeah, that's unique for me. And then that's still, then I realized, oh, I really love football. I wanted to play football, and then still I work for the football, right? Because I knew another community. That's why now I can feel strongly more than before, because I know the another world too. Then I realized I really love football. That's why when you're a student and if you have a time, so you should touch to the another community from your like a sports or from your community. Yeah, it's my opinion.
Thank you very much. Yes. So meeting people, interacting with people from different communities, from different field, would, as a result, come back to you and make your values clear. Okay, that's an interesting opinion. Thank you. This question is specifically to Chihiro-san. This is an interesting question. Interpreter shall not express his or her own will, but shall always be loyal to what is required. Putting yourself in such environment, what do you think the biggest excitement in your work role? So in short, what is the most exciting thing as an interpreter?
It's being a part of the team. I mean, because as an interpreter, like doesn't matter my prayer. Sometimes of course my prayer pray or not, doesn't matter. But I work with a player. Then I love football. Then and I know that I could see the player putting a lot of effort every day. Maybe if I'm just one of the supporter, I can see the player on the stadium, in the stadium only, and then just I can see their performance. But the behind their performance, what they're doing, I knew that. Then they show the good performance on the field. I can be very exciting too. I can be excited also. I can glad. Also sometimes I can shout. That I'm really happy. Sometimes too much. I'm very emotional guy. Sometimes,
Hiroki-san's laughing. Huh?
yeah. Sometimes too much talk to the referee, and then
Mm.
But yeah, my answer is being part of the team.
Mm.
It's the most excitement things for me. Yeah.
Because football is always about team, it's not about individual, but a team. So,
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So I still have some questions left, but let me open the room for all the participants. And if there's no questions, I'll just keep throwing the questions on the form. But let me just, for now, open the room. Any of you have questions, please give a few comments for both of the presentation and then ask comments regarding their talk. So, 日本語でも全然いいんで、英語でも日本語でもいいんで、ぜひ質問があれば、今日のお二人のプレゼンのコメントに対してのコメントとともに、ぜひ、よろしくお願いします。はい。では30分弱ほどですかね。ちょっと、Q&A タイムを開きたいと思います。はい。質問ある方。
Hello, Jindo. Hello, Ryu-san, Chihiro-san.
水木さん。
Sorry, be right because now I'm not doing my dinner now. Oh, so thank you for presentation today, and then I'm very interesting, of course, Ryu because I chat with him last week, 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, and then also it's I'm very pleased to hear and Chihiro-san what's the inside of course your work, and of course you can't talk to the really detail of the jelly, but it's very impressive tonight because. Also, I'm working in Australia and one of the professional club, and I have the very negative experience in 2015 as interrupter, and it's not jelly. That's why I gave up try keep the work in the interrupter. So its question is, so we are the non-native speaker.
Mhm.
So, and also it's still my English is not very well. But so that's why sometimes if you talk to any native speaker or other language, the foreigners or maybe any staff, or sometimes even if the Japanese,
Mhm.
if you can't translate it properly between Japanese and English, so how can I solve this problem?
Yeah, that's interesting, and it's happened sometimes because my prayer were the non-native speaker. That's why maybe their English there are different, wrong, or my interpretation were wrong. I don't know, but sometimes even if they talk between me, like they had a miscommunication. But that's why, of course, my English not very. English not very good. I mean, because I study English harder when I was 27. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Then, I mean, that's why then I am a football interpreter. Then I'm belong to the football team. Then I'm always with them for the training, for the game, for the life. They especially, that's why it's my opinion. Actually, it's my opinion. I don't know as an interpreter what they're gonna say. That's why I have to spend a lot of time with my player. Then, from just go to dinner, just go lunch. It's, maybe from other people, just you guys just hang out. Maybe they think to me, but of course it's fun. It's fun. That's why I hang out with them. But also that's the private conversation. I can know their feeling, their opinion. Then that's that's the time can help me to also the interpretation. That's why that's why of course sometimes I feel if native I didn't have a native English speaker player, but if I have an English native speaker player, then like a Japanese player, then just conversation at a time, maybe I'm not worth to do it. Bring their professional interpreter, like more native guide, and then do it, it's better. But football is sometimes different, you know. Also, it's not only the translate interpreting at a time, not only at a time. That's why for me, to solve that kind of problem, like that's why I spend a lot of time with my player, then try to know that their feeling from the private time as well. Yeah, I don't know it's answer or not for you, but it's my answer. Sorry.
No, it's yeah, no, it's totally agree with you. Because Jody Bice and then he used to play our club.
Ah, really? You work for the Sydney
Yeah,
right now?
Yes.
Oh, really?
So
Oh.
yeah, so that's why maybe he say, yeah, that's why he say all the time beach because you know he's Dutch guy, so Dutch the Netherlands is not a lot of the beach, but
Yeah.
is the Australia, especially Sydney, so there are lots good beach. So
Yeah.
that's why I think he always say
Yeah,
beach.
that's true.
And yeah, so I totally agree with you because I think the interrupter, and as you say, it's really different. It's just particularly the professional interrupter, like work with government or work with it's a professional travel company or something, and between the football or any specific work. So that's why. So what's of course you as well. So what do you think or what do you expect the ability do you learn also maybe do you need except the English or language? If you work in the sports environment or the football environment.
Of course, the knowledge of that sports is very important. Also, I think I don't want to say I have a good personality, but the personality is is important because like an interpreter, it's really silly position because if I'm coach, you know, I have to make a distance between with the player because I have a power to, you know, to decide something, to decide the training menu, to decide if we're gonna play for the game. But I'm an interpreter. Sometimes I should be on the player side, but I'm hired by the club, not I'm hired by the player. I'm a staff for the club. That's why, you know, that balance, you know, to where you're gonna be on the position, it's also very important. To, you know, too much close to the player is not good, but too much close to the club, there's some player, oh, Chi-san just don't help me like that. The player gonna think about that. Yeah, that's, you know, interpreter is very silly position because I don't have a power actually to decide anything. Just, you know, to help them. But I'm a staff. But I need to help the player. Sometimes I hang out with them, right? Maybe I'm sometimes friends with them But that's why the balance, that kind of ability is also very important, I think. Yeah.
What do you think? So of course you are not actually the current interactor professional level, but so what do you think? So what do you need expect any as ability and except language?
Except language, right?
Sorry, you. Sorry.
Oh, me? Okay.
Sorry, Ryu-san.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the other skill to success as an interpreter is, you know, as the Noda-san said, just a personality, right? Just personality. It's all about personality. They all said it's all about personality because, like, you know, recently I've been contacting some interpreters, and then they talk me to about like the all of interpreters are almost same level, right? Almost same level in the language skill or the communication skill or something. But what, who is the biggest, who is to be a good interpreter is like good, they have a good personality, which means like, for example, like I'm not sure, because I haven't done the interpreter, but they said to me like, for example, like try to communicate all of people like equally, right? So not too close, and as the Nolan says, not too close, not too far, everything. And also they try to I don't remember that, but yeah, just personality. So it's all about personality in J team. But players is the ability to play football. This is the valuable, that they value the players from the perspective of skill. But the staff, coach and interpreters or that stuff, from perspective the personalities. So that's why I need to think about what the personalities, how good, how do I say, like, what is the personalities, like I need to think about what is a personality before I try to be in the JD team. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, thank you. Any other questions?
I
Anyone would
actually
like to
have
say?
several.
All right, Mai, go ahead.
So first, thank you for your interesting talk. But to Chihiro-san, so of course you're a lot involved in intercultural communication, and that's not only mean language, of course. So you were talking about like having a Dutch football player, for example, and of course like Dutch culture and Japanese culture is very different. Like, well, I grew up in the Netherlands myself, and the way of communication is of course different. So we're more direct, and I guess Japanese people are, yeah, well, they communicate in a different way. So I was wondering how you deal with all those cultural differences, and also within a team, if the team has a lot of cultural diversity. Like, I'm not sure if like all interpreters in the J League are actually Japanese, or are they also like foreigners?
Yeah. So the interesting question. So yeah, I had a two Dutch player in actually like in Tokushima and then in Jubilo. Anyway, yeah, as you said, like Dutch people will more direct than Japanese, to tell anything their opinion. Yeah, that's why. So I told earlier, like I spend a lot of time with player. Then, sometimes sometimes they're too much emotional, and then they say that some word really strongly, but sometimes after that in private with me, they regret, and then they say sorry, that was my bad, my fail. Then I knew, if I know that, that because I spent a long time with them. After that, next day, I can speak with that Japanese player in person, not without Dutch player. So he said blah blah blah. Yesterday he said sorry, and then I can make I can arrange their relationship, because he said that, but sometimes he didn't want to say to the Japanese because they're come from the other country, and then I understand because maybe Hiroki, he understand if you play as a country as a international player, because we should be better than the domestic player. That's why we are there. And then now J League international player, they were expected. They are much better than Japan player. That's why came to Japan, right? I can understand that they're feeling. That's why sometimes they should be strong, you know. That's why sometimes they don't wanna say sorry. They don't wanna apologize. I understand. That's why I have to make a good balance. You know, I talk with a Japanese player in private. Yeah, he's good. This guy, or he said to you, and he said you're a good player. He never tell you in person, face to face. But you know, when we hang out, he said that you have a good potential, blah blah blah, and then I try to be the good relationship. Yeah, it's okay. That's
So you also like act as a mediator,
yeah.
not only interpreter but also like mediation between players.
Yes.
So like for example, if like a Dutch player would like say something really strongly,
Yeah.
and the Japanese, do you like soften it for the Japanese player?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like translate it differently, or do you say it has how the Dutch player says it?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, I say same tension as my player. Maybe they're gonna fight, you know, punch each other. They're gonna be. That's the other time, you know, I try to be calm, you know. Then sometimes my player say everything what I said like that, of course. But you know, other time, if I don't have a good, you know, connection with my player, he gonna get the most frustration. But if we have a good connection, if I say please, I gonna tell him correctly, please trust me. If I have a good connection, then he said, okay. If you say I trust you like that, then I can talk to the Japanese player, like because at that time the football, the sports, you know, when they're playing, they're gonna be emotional, you know, sometimes not logical. Just they wanna say their opinion, their emotion at that time. But what is the important things to understand each other, you know, each opinion, the most important things. That's why sometimes I'm interpreter. Sometimes, of course, sometimes I tell the as a player same tension, you know, like a child together like that. But yeah, it depends the timing, you know, depends the situation. Actually, it's okay. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. And I also have a question for both of you, because you were both talking about getting engaged in other activities than your own sports. So I'm a student at Scuba University, and yeah, I'm just in a university sports club, and we have practice like 2 times a day and like only 1 day off in a week. So I was wondering if you have like advice to like get engaged while being in university sports, like to create time to broaden your view and do like extracurricular activities.
Mm. Could you have any advice on that?
I reckon that this is kind of difficult question, because you know I have the same position, you know, like you know, for you, because you know I was doing the football only in the universities, but other extracurricular might be, I'm not sure. If you you know, like if you you know, like you know, if you speak English and Japanese and other languages, but you speak English only, and I recommend you to learn the other languages, but you already speak Japanese and English, and so this is really extracurricular. So what do you think about what the sense of What are you thinking?
No, actually, yeah. Actually, when I was belonging to the when I was belonging to the football club in university for 2 years. The first year and the second year I joined the football club like you. But at the time, I talked to the coach. Give me the time to do something else, because of course I love football. I wanna help the team, but at the time, so actually it's I didn't wanna regret. That's why, because my life is mine, right? That's why. Yeah, that's why I told to the I negotiate, talk to the coach nicely and then calmly, calmly. Please, I wanted to do it. I know I gonna have the less chance to play the top team, but I don't wanna quit football. But also I don't wanna do this kind of things. But please give me a time like that. But now that things happened 12 years ago. Right now, you have a luck, because now a lot of online community has there now. So if you wanna join this kind of meeting 10 years ago, maybe you have to go to the Shinjuku and somewhere, takes 1 hour train from your house, right? From Tsukuba. But right now, so you stay in your home, then you can participate in some meeting like this. And that kind of things is very useful and then very advantage for this young generation. Then at least you put a lot of effort to make time to do another things from there. That's that things I think it's good. And then now you have a good connection with us. Then yeah, maybe you're gonna join to the Tranqui, maybe, probably. Then then you now you have get a new connection. Then if you have if you want something to do, and then we can help you.
Yeah. So that's a good advice. There's Tranqui here. You can join us. There's going to be numerous connections and encounters here. So you're free.
My son, I have a question for you. What do you want to do except for judo?
Well, I still have like this judo dream that's still like somewhere. But I'm actually here officially as an exchange student. So I'm here for 4 years, and maybe I want to do masters somewhere in Tokyo or maybe in Tsukuba. But yeah, I really want to be engaged in like intercultural communication, maybe intercultural marketing, branding, and of course, because I'm like very involved in sports, I want to like connect that and maybe find a way to like mediate between Asia and Europe, or the Netherlands and Japan.
Yeah, you have a lot of things that you want to do right now except for judo. So firstly, I recommend you to be, to aim to your dream firstly, right? This is your job, I reckon. So because it's your dream, but you already have those kind of thinking, it's okay. I reckon it's really good, because when I was at university, I don't have anything except for soccer. So this is really bad thing. But you already have a lot of things, so it's okay. So firstly, you need to you try to be to dream, and then also after that, or just at the same time, I'm doing what you want to do, right? I reckon this is, yeah, you're really good. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, Jindo. Just
Yes.
quickly, can I talk to my son?
Go ahead. Make it quick,
Hello.
please.
Yeah. My son also. I was not student at the University of Tsukuba in the bachelor, but I graduated master.
Mm.
And right, so it's maybe Okada sensei. It's,
Oh,
Yeah, of
yes.
course. Yeah, I know it's a lot of teachers in Tsukuba. So it's firstly as because I'm a football coach and I talk to the players all the time. So it's the life is yours and dream is yours. So of course, maybe sometimes sensei or coaches decide something, training menu, the training time, something. But also, it's my wife is like a sports psychologist, the PhD, and then we work with now the sport athlete career, especially the focus on dual career or sometimes the triple career, something, right? So especially in the because I study abroad a lot of time the Netherlands. I have a lot of Dutch friends, so I love the Dutch style. So it's you have to decide for your life, and if you need to manage your time, if you achieve any goal, if you try to reduce your training time and then try to engage or more commit to maybe others, the other sports or maybe other activity, just do it. Just do it. You have to talk to the teachers. They can't look after your life, whole life. Only couple of years. They can't take responsibility your whole life. Even if you're 2 or 3 years in a commitment to the judo, but I don't know the Olympic something, but even if you're gold medalist Olympic, it's your life still going. You have to make something. That's maybe judo. And the university during the university time is a lot of time, spending time. That's why I created something by myself, the master student, football coach, and of course part-time job and playing football, and creates the other activity in the university at the graduate master course something. It's at least 4 or 5 every time. It's the same as I was a university student. Okay, so maybe try thinking about deeply more and try to maybe talk to the teachers or someone around you. Okay, so judo is maybe part of your life. I think judo is not your whole life, in my opinion.
All right,
Sorry,
thank you,
Jindo.
Mizuki-san. It's okay.
Thank
So,
you.
yep, that was a nice career consulting for you, Maya.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, got me
It's
really
okay.
thinking about stuff
Mm.
now.
But these people are all from Tranqui, except for Ryukun. So if you join this community, there's going to be all these career consulting and stuff you can encounter with lots of people. So we always welcome you. Huh? All right.
Thank
So
you.
one last question. 最後の一つ質問. And also, I forgot to mention, but those questions that you've asked on the Google form we would ask the guests to fill it out, and we would send you online afterwards. So for those questions who are not being answered, don't worry about that. But other than that, if you want to be answered, if you have any questions to be answered, feel free to raise your hand and speak out. Chukai, anything?
So yeah, so thank you for Chihiro-san and Ryu-san for your sharing. I think I'm hearing a lot of unexpected things. I was expecting to hear about like football stuff, more about the matches and so on, or players, but I realize your job is so much bigger and so much wider. So thank you for sharing, and I just want to say I'm inspired by both of you. You know, the path to do what you want to do is like so difficult. You're always having to go around something, find someone, meet someone. So I thought that was really encouraging, and you're constantly finding something new. And I think I had a question, but maybe partially answered. My question was, if you don't know football well, or you're not a experienced player, can you be an interpreter, or are there such people who interpret?
It's actually, if you know I don't know about another industry like but for the football industry. So if you know about the football, of course it's gonna be good advantage for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know about the football, you can be, because Jubilo has like a George-san. He has been interpreter for Jubilo for 20 years, and then he never played football. Yes, but actually, as I mentioned, though, if you wanna survive as an interpreter, you should learn a couple, several languages, right? Then he speak English, Spanish, and Portuguese and Korean. Maybe now he's studying French.
Mm.
Then of course, if he knows football things, then maybe it's good advantage. But that's it. The football knowledge, it's not all, because interpreter, a football interpreter, it's not only the interpretation for the football side. So because we have to have their life, you know. Then also we have to have their visa, that kind of things. That's why, of course, knowledge about the sports, it's very advantage for sure. And then, but if you don't have this, you know, how to say, if you don't have this advantage, you can, then you have, then if you have another advantage, like as George-san, like George-san has another advantage, it means he can speak several languages. Then he can be interpreter and he can survive as interpreter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's good. It's enough answer for you, or
Yeah. It is.
okay.
Of course, it's best to know football, and for Liu-san's information, you don't know what is rubbish football until you see me play. Yeah, but I still enjoy, and I hope I can play more. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I guess lastly is just a comment. I felt there's a tension, like what Mai-san has mentioned. You know, you as an athlete, you want to give all your time to your sport so that you can be the best in your sport, but you don't have time for other parts of your life. So is that the way universities should carry on, or it should change in future? So I thought it was interesting, and maybe something we can all share and discuss next time in another occasion.
Absolutely, yes. So this is Chukai. He was a student for TIAS, the Tsukuba International. Yeah. So he was also in Tsukuba. So I think there's a lot of things he can share with you. He currently works for a Japanese sports company. So yeah, I'll connect you afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. I think it's a good time for now. I think you still all have questions, but feel free to send us or Jun-san, Chukai to Tranqui. If you still have any questions you want to ask them, you can ask them directly. But we're going to have a closing speech from Jun-san, our leader. If you want to put on your video, Jun-san, you're free to go. I know you're in the quarantine time, in Singapore, but
all right, I was focusing on operating and Zoom and YouTube live. So so first of all, thank you, Ryu-kun and Chihiro-san, for today's talk. And we now understand the overview of interpreter's job, and we really enjoy your deep life stories, and it's really motivated us. So just let me explain about Tranqui, because this meeting is organized by Tranqui. So Tranqui is a global sporting community where members interact and inspire one another. And our mission is to connect people who has passion for sports and to share knowledge and explore opportunities in global sports. So Tranqui means bochi bochi ikoka in Japanese. So even though everyone is trying harder every day, we always keep bochi bochi ikoka in our mind. So if you are interested in joining this community, please freely contact us, and I'm really happy to provide more information. So again, thank you so much for joining today's Tranqui Talk, and I think see you again soon somewhere. That's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, and for those who do not know Tranqui, I mean, not everybody is really fluent in English. We always, talk in a mixture of Japanese and English, although today was like almost 100% English. So you don't have to worry about your English level. 日本語で全然やるんで、英語喋れない人も対応できるようなコミュニティに運営をしているので、もし興味があれば、また、トランキに DM を送るなり、僕、ジュンさん、仲介、トランキメンバーに、連絡を取ってください。ということで、ちょうど8時半、ナイス運営です。